So here in Photoshop, we're going to have a look at how we fix this brush error. So basically we're getting this message up saying could not use the history brush because the history state does not contain a corresponding layer. So what we're trying to do here is to blend this mask layer into the layer below. So you can see here, if I look at my layers, I've got one image above this image of books, and I want to actually use my brush to add to the layer mask here, the black and white image, which is creating that transparency. And with the history brush, you won't be able to do that on a layer mask. It works in a slightly different way. What we actually need to do is switch to the brush tool. So I have my pencil tool selected here above, and you may see the toolbar up at the top left in two different modes. So this is the 2-column mode, or you may see it as 1 column, but you're looking for that pencil tool there to change to the brush tool. And this is a tool that we would use to paint on a mask layer. So I've got my layer set to black, which means that it's going to hide parts of this layer. And I've also, if I right click, I've got my hardness set right down to 0. So it's going to be a nice feathered brush. And then I can also set my opacity as well if I want to blend this a bit more subtly to a lower percentage. So that means we can just kind of build it up. And then you can see as I paint across this now, and then look to my layers, I'm starting to add some black to that layer, which is hiding the topmost layer that layer mask is attached to and revealing the layer below. So you can see with that brush tool now, I can do this nice kind of blend into these books, this kind of double exposure effect on these two images. I can increase the size of my brush so I can kind of do a bit more of a subtle effect. I'm going to get rid of this logo here just by adding more to that part of the image. So we'll get rid of the university logo there and then just gradually blend in those books. And if I think I've gone too far, then I can switch to white, and then on that same layer mask I can blend things back. I just need to be careful of the edges of that image. So I'm going to make my brush a bit smaller, and then I can just use that white brush to get rid of some of those books that were covering her face here. So I'm going to increase my opacity a little bit just to play with this, and then we'll come back to the black layer and increase my brush size, and I've gone to 58%. So basically now I can reveal or hide kind of different parts of that image. If I switch back to the white layer here, I just want to watch out for the edges because I might reveal the original image outside of the edge, which I've used here to kind of create this mask. So if I do paint with a white brush, I just want to make sure I keep it inside here, maybe to reveal some of the contours of the clothing behind, and just blend it nicely with that kind of book layer. So basically switching from the history brush tool to the brush tool will get rid of this error that may be popping up if you're trying to paint onto a layer mask.